Hello friends, welcome back in this video session of refrigeration and air conditioning. Today we are going to learn thermal comfort and effect of clothing. My name is Mr. S. V. Kumbar, Assistant Professor, Sharad Institute of Technology College of Engineering, Yadra, Ichalkaranji. So in today's lecture we will see thermal comfort. So thermal comfort is a term used by American Society of Heating, Refrigeration and Air Conditioning, which is an international body. And thermal comfort is defined as it is a state of mind in human that expresses satisfaction with the surrounding environment. Generally, any human being who satisfies with external surrounding, that we call it as thermal comfort. We will take one example here. If one worker is working in foundry, the atmospheric temperature is hot and humid, so he will not be comfort unless and until we make that temperature in comfort zone. So maintaining this standard of thermal comfort for occupant of building or other enclosure, which is one of the most important goals of heating, ventilation and air conditioning design engineer. Generally, the role of HVAC design engineer is that every human being must be thermally comfort. So thermal comfort is affected by heat conduction, convection, radiation and evaporative losses. Generally, we receive heat from solar radiation. When any human being is in still air, so generally heat will be absorbed by convection and radiation, and evaporative losses occurs again in the form of convection. Thermal comfort is maintained when the heat generated by human metabolism is allowed to dissipate, thus maintaining thermal equilibrium with surrounding. When heat is generated by human being by the metabolism, respiration action, it has to be dissipated into the atmosphere so that there will be thermal equilibrium between its surrounding temperature. So it has been long recognized that the sensation of feeling hot or cold is not just dependent on the air temperature alone. Some other factors are also affected on that. We will see those factors one by one. So factors affecting human comfort. So first factor affects personal factor, and personal factor includes health condition of human being, psychology of human being, sociological and situational factors. Insulative clothing also affect human comfort. Let's take one example. In case of summer, if you wear black colored cloth, what will happen? As it is a black color, it will absorb all the solar radiation by all the modes of heat transfer, and heat will be directly transmitted to human body, so that human body will not comfort in black cloth in summer season. That's why we generally use white cloth, so that all the possible radiation will be reflected. On the other hand, in case of winter, if we wear black colored cloth, it will absorb all the solar radiation, so it will affect human comfort. General factors affect air temperature. Now, as I told one example, if worker is working in foundry sector, generally the temperature of air is generally high, so he will not be comforted. Mean radiant temperature also affects human comfort. A relative humidity. So relative humidity also affects on human comfort. Drifts and ramps in operative temperature. Localized factor, here air movement, that is air velocity, floor surface temperature, air temperature stratification. They are the different factors which will affect human comfort. Now we will see metabolic heat generation. When measuring metabolic rates, many factors have to be taken into consideration. Each person has a different metabolic rate that we have to accept, and these metabolic rate can fluctuate from person to person in performing certain activities or under certain environmental condition. When people who are in the same room can feel significant temperature difference due to their different metabolic rate, which makes it very hard to find optimal temperature for everyone in a given location. Again, I would like to give an example here. If the temperature of room is maintained at 27 degrees centigrade and 4 peoples are in that room, so we can't differentiate the optimal temperature because the metabolic rate of those 4 peoples will be different. Now, factors affecting metabolic rate. So first factor is food and drink habit. Food and drink habit of any person may have an influence on its metabolic rate, which indirectly influences thermal preferences. These effects may change depending on food and drink intake. If you drink more water, so more heat will be liberated out of the body through urination as well as in the form of sweat. So its body temperature may be maintained. But if you don't drink more water, so heat may be liberated in the form of urination itself. So heat will not be liberated that much as that of in first case. Second, body shape. Body shape is another factor that affects thermal comfort. Heat dissipation depends on body surface area. A tall and skinny person has a larger surface to volume ratio, and heat can dissipate more easily from taller and skinny person and can tolerate higher temperature than a more rounded body shape. So effect of clothing or clothing insulation. During cold weather, a layer of insulating cloth can help keep a person warm. During cold season, generally we use sweaters, right? As it is a insulating layer which is in between environment and human body, which will keep person warm. At the same time, if the person is doing a large amount of physical activity, lot of clothing layers can prevent heat loss and possibly lead to overheating. Generally, the thick garment is the greater insulating ability it has. Depending on the type of material the clothing is made out of, air movement and relative humidity that can be decreased with insulating material. The amount of clothing is measured against a standard amount that is roughly equivalent to typical business suits, shirts and undergarments. Activity level is compared to being seated quietly such in a classroom. If in a classroom 60 students are there, then there will be liberation of heat and that environment becomes generally hot. This standard amount of insulation required to keep a resting person warm in windless room at 21.1 degrees centigrade is equal to 1 kilo. Kilo units can be converted to R value in SI unit, that is meter square Kelvin per watt, by multiplying kilo by 0.155, because 1 kilo is equal to 155 R value. Relative humidity. The human body has sensors that are fairly efficient in sensing heat and cold, but they are not very effective in detecting relative humidity. So relative humidity creates the perception of an extremely dry or extremely damp indoor environment. This can then play a part in the perceived temperature and their thermal comfort. The recommended level of indoor humidity is in the range of 30 to 60%. Generally, 40% relative humidity is maintained for human comfort. A way to measure amount of relative humidity in the air is to use system of DBT and WBT, that is dry bulb temperature and wet bulb temperature method. A dry bulb temperature method is measured by thermometer, which measures the temperature which is not relative to moisture, and this is generally the temperature reading that is used in weather reports. In contrast, a wet bulb thermometer has a small wet cloth wrapped around a bulb as at its base that we had already studied while studying properties of moisture, and this reading on thermometer takes into account water evaporation in air. The wet bulb reading will thus always be at least slightly lower than dry bulb reading. The difference between these two is used to calculate relative humidity. The larger the temperature difference between the two thermometers, the lower level of relative humidity. Here, the wetness of skin in different areas also affects perceived human comfort. Humidity can increase wetness on different area of body, leading to a perception of discomfort. This is usually localized in different part of body and local thermal comfort limits for local skin. Wetness differ between different skin location of the body. The extremities are much more sensitive to thermal comfort from wetness than trunk of body. Although local thermal discomfort can be caused from wetness, the thermal comfort of the whole body will not be affected by the wetness of a certain part. Thermal stress. So generally thermal stress is closely related to thermal comfort, and thermal stress attempts to predict the impact of solar radiation, air movement and humidity for military personnel undergoing training exercises or athlete during competitive events. Values are expressed as that of wet bulb globe temperature or discomfort index. Generally, humans do perform well under thermal stress. People's perform under thermal stress is about 11% lower than that of their performance at normal thermal condition. Also, human performance in relation to thermal stress varies greatly by the type of task that you are completing. Some of the physiological effects of thermal heat stress include increased blood flow to the skin, sweating and increased ventilation. Effect of natural ventilation on human comfort. So in world, many buildings use HVAC unit, that is heating, ventilation and air conditioning, to control their thermal environment. Recently, with the current energy and financial situation, new methods for indoor temperature control are being used. One of these is natural ventilation or natural circulation of air. In natural ventilation, here the controlled indoor air temperature more susceptible to the outdoor weather, and during with seasonal month the temperature inside air can become too extreme. During the summer months the temperature inside can rise too high and causes the need for open window and fans to be used. In contrast, in the month of November, October, November, here it could call for more insulation and layered cloth, that is sweater, to deal with the less than ideal temperature. Here we conclude this video lecture. Thank you very much.